Hello, Profit Partners. I am Lotiji, and this is
the Prince of Pads, Raheem Whitehead, coming at ya.
And if you're looking at this video right
Yes.
now, we want to say thank you for joining this campaign. It is so near and dear to our heart, and we want to say thank you for helping us get this mission on these streets, right? So one of the things that we want to do is to show you one of the most important things that you're going to have to do in this journey, and that is learn how to do this demonstration. And who else to show you better to show you this than the Prince of Pads himself?
Yes, I can show you better than I can tell you.
You see how comfortable he is holding his pad in his hand?
Yes.
He's comfortable. So he's going to start this off and tell you exactly how you do this demo.
Okay, well, first off, the first thing you want to highlight about this pad is you want to highlight how thin it is. When you show how thin this pad is, it conveys comfortability and thinness and discreetness. Another feature of the pad is that it is completely sanitary when you open it, and you can feature that in your demonstration, just showing that unlike the conventional pads that are open, these are completely sanitary, where when opening them up, you do not have to touch the inside.
Because ladies, you know, when you pull those pads out your purse, you're shaking them, shaking the dust off of them. So now you can reassure your customers that they don't have to do that anymore.
Correct. So after you get the bottom layer off, you want to lay the pad flat on the table. You can even press down on the wing some and just lay the pad completely flat out like so. Another feature you want to demonstrate before you start breaking the pad down is our 3D leak guard protection. You really want to emphasize that because most conventional pads don't have this feature, and this feature here allows, you know, no leakage on the sides, and most of our customers really comment on how good this protection is. Okay, after featuring that, you want to let your audience know that a woman, according to healthcare professionals and gynecologists, that a woman is going to exude a feminine flow of 15 to 50 milliliters. And what you normally want to do is after you pour that into your measuring cup, you can show it to someone in the crowd just so they know that you have the correct amount. Okay? After that, I'll take that from you, Miss Lotiji. You want to start from one end of the pad and work your way to the back of the pad, just ever so slightly pouring the water back and forth as it goes into the pad. You don't want to pour directly all of your water too fast because it could be too fast for the pad to catch it. And as you see, I'm going back and forth and all of the water is out of the pad. Okay, so after that's done, now it's time to tell your story. So like Miss Lotiji, when she tells her story, she uses her daughter as an example. Okay, I, on the other hand, like to use statistics. So I may say, you know, with these sanitary napkins here, a woman has to wear them about 15,000 times, whereas tampons, they have to wear them multiple hours in their lifetime. So it's really important to know exactly what's in our women's pads, as well as they want to have a more comfortable, dry experience. As I'm telling that story, whichever one that's personal to you, normally if it's a woman or a father, you can probably give a testimonial about a customer or your daughter or your wife if applicable, and just tell them their experience when using this pad and you wish you had known before. So after you tell that story, which is going to last maybe a minute, possibly a little bit over a minute, depending on how much you want to do, you know, your mindset training. By this time, this pad is 100% dry. That's really important that you do not rush it. Please don't rush it because it will come up wet, because the water is traveling through a series of layers in this pad, the way that it was designed, and it takes a little while to go all the way and complete all of the layers. Okay, so
make sure that you always know what you're going to say at that time, because if not, you're going to stand there and you're going to be like, okay, I got to wait for this absorb. So just always know that is very important, because that's why you're telling that story at that time, because you're making sure you're giving the pad a time enough to absorb. Yes,
exactly. As our CEO and owner, Mr. Damon Crump, came up with a genius idea. You know, we really don't want to use red dye in our presentation, just because we don't want to make anybody squirmish or offend anyone. So a genius idea is to just actually go to the dollar store and get you a pack of 24 of these nice bright red napkins. One of the cool effects about these napkins is that they will show if any water is detected on here, and it also gives an illusion that this kind of looks like blood on a pad. So you know, if you put this on here, it's going to show that it comes up 100% dry. So I'm going to do that because I know at least about 2 minutes of time left. And you want to put some pressure. You want to put pressure. You can see things shaking. You want to put a little dramatic to it and really get into this pad to show that it is 100% absorbing. I like to show the part of the pad that's laying down, and as you bring it right up, most of your audience is going to say, wow, I've never seen a pad absorb like this before. Because you want to remember, most of the emphasis is going to be put on the dryness of this pad, the absorbency of this pad, because that is the reason why women buy pads. Correct? Correct, Latiji?
Yes, that's the reason.
Okay, so now that the pad is 100% dry, it's time to break this pad down. Now I'm going to really show you how to break this pad down, Prince of Pad style. Okay, so normally I like to take a wing off. This is just my method. So I just pinch right in the top right corner, and I hold down on the top, and it just rips off like that.
Now,
okay?
I just learned something new, but this is the Prince.
Right. So I like to pull a wing off, and it's very easy to do. Just hold down on the top layer right here and pinch right here, and it pulls right off. The reason why I do that is because I can now see all of the layers on the pad, and I can get to them very easily. Okay, so what I do here is this first layer, which is the top layer, you want to hold down on the top of the absorbency and just kind of pull it off like this, and then as you get it coming to the side right here, then you hold down on the top and it pulls right off. Okay, now you want to expose the top layer, just showing that it's a cotton blend. You want to mention that it's a cotton blend, and you can show how porous it is. It has a lot of holes and breathability. You also may mention that most customers that use this product say that they can't even tell that they have anything on. And if you like, you can proceed to pass this around the room so that people can see that this layer of the pad is much different from the synthetic fibers that's on the conventional pads. Okay, so we're gonna sit that to the side. Before you introduce our graphene strip, you could just kind of pull that off and say, we're going to talk about this graphene strip right here later. Or you could just say, we're going to talk about this later, and just kind of highlight it and sit it to the side, because next you want to get to your absorbency system. Now, the absorbency system, and I'm going to have you kind of zoom in really close, because if you get this part right, it's going to come off very clean, and you're going to have a nice clean demonstration as you're showing the absorbency. So what I do is I just put my finger right here on the side, and look for the very bottom. There's a little layer hiding right up under here. And I'm trying to grab it a little bit. And you see how it's pulling up? That last layer that's attached to the very bottom of this pad. And once I get it up, everything else is coming with it. So you can see this last layer, it's all the way tucked up under there. And you can miss it now. So make sure you grab the last layer. And what I do, once I get that last layer, now I'm pulling it in and I'm rolling it back, and everything comes up nice and neat. See? And when you have this, now you can hold it in your hand like this and just make feature what this actually is. You can let people know this is a plant grade polymer, similar to what's in natural baby diapers. People are familiar with that. You can also mention that it's a high grade super polymer as well, but it is safe for all of our women. And once you get it there, you want to take your cup. We already have it filled with water here. Don't fill it all the way to the top because you want to leave room for this to go in. And you just take it and just gently plop it down in there, and I'll just hold it like that a little bit and just let it do its thing. Okay?
And let me mention that you want to get a cup that is kind of wide, because a lot of times we get that very narrow cup, and when you get that very narrow cup, what happens is you don't get that polymer all the way down at the bottom of the cup. So you want to get that a wider cup, and you can get the plastic clear wider cups, and you want it to be a clear cup.
Correct. I like to use glass as well because it's very sturdy, but you can use a cup, whatever you like. Okay, so now you want to get to the bottom layer feature of our pads, and you know what makes our pads different and unique, the Jewel Premium Sanitary Napkin, is you want to highlight that it is a plant grade plastic that's safe. But what's unique is that it's very porous and it has a lot of holes in it, and you can feature the holes, the strips running down, just so people can see. Another added feature you want to highlight is you want to highlight that this pad, the bottom layer, is not that hard plastic that's unbreathable, the ones that they're used to in the stores or the traditional ones. And you just want to gently show that I am pulling this apart. And you may mention something like you can't do this with your pad at home. You can also mention that it is biodegradable, so it's good for the earth as well. So you can see that here. So now it's time to get back to our graphene strip. Here, this is the super chip. This is the super technology in our pads, and you want to mention this is a graphene strip. And the benefits of graphene, you can mention one benefit that I like to emphasize that most people using this product, it reduces their cramps, dysmenorrhea. It improves with their energy levels. It helps with fatigue, hormone secretion. You can mention some of those things. Although we don't make medical claims, you can mention that most customers have the benefits. They give a testimonial about the benefits of what this does for them. Also, it has been known to shorten women's cycles. So when you mention those things, who wouldn't want that? And that's the what you're going to continue to use in your presentation. After you highlight that, this over here, you've taken away the attention with the graphene strip, and now it's time to get back to our absorbency system, this super polymer. And by that time, this has completely absorbed. One thing you can mention is you can mention that I poured 50 milliliters of water into the pad. I also almost filled up this cup. And this absorbency system, as you can see, you could turn it over. Don't be scared, profit sharing partners. It's okay. It's completely absorbed. And if you really want to just give it that extra oomph, you can shake it out and you can see that it has completely absorbed. Okay, and by this time they will be oohing and ahhing. Before I wrap it up, one thing I didn't mention about the graphene strip is that the graphene strip has self-sustaining energy. Self-sustaining energy, not electricity. And you can prove that in your demonstration. You want to let them know this is a 7-watt light bulb. It can detect energy. We're not looking for electricity. It detects energy. And you can show that this graphene strip is alive, because when you press it on here, you can see that most of the times it's good to hold it in your hand, just because when it's really flat, sometimes you can't get a good hold on it. So if you hold it in your hand, you can see that this responds to the moisture in the graphene strip. Look at what was brought to America by our amazing company. So, as we have been doing always, the 6-star way is we're letting the ladies lead, and we have our ace here. By the time you watch this video, she may be champion or TBA. So we're gonna let Ms. Letitia Stanton close this out.
So just want to say, when you're carrying all this around, I want to say, didn't he do a wonderful job? That's why he's the prince, right? He did a wonderful job. You want to make sure that you get this, and we will let you know. You can get these on Amazon. It is a 7-watt light bulb, and it comes off Amazon. Do not go in the stores and try to get them. You want to have your cup with the 50 milliliters. You want to have either your glass or your cup. You want to have that all the time, and a bag. Like, you always need like your bag or your case. Some of the men, Prince of Pass, he have a case over there, that you always have this with you, with your things inside of them, ready to do your demonstrations. Right? So you won't be fumbling and bumbling looking for your stuff.
Yep. One other added thing you want to take with you in your supplies is you want to have a hand towel. Because if you're doing these demonstrations in someone's home and you put this adhesive onto their table, they might not like what happens after you rip it up. So always have you a table, because you want to be doing these demonstrations anywhere. You want to, at the drop of a second, you never know who you're coming in contact with. You're pulling your bag out and you have your hand towel and you're ready to go. Maybe carry your bottled water around with you, just so you're always prepared.
Yeah, and you can get you like one of those very nice, like a napkin that you put on your table when you're setting your tables, the cloth one, and yeah, and you're ready to go. So I hope this helped you a lot, and get this video, study it, and let's get out here and get them. Bye-bye.